Hello and welcome to all the students and parents watching. During the examination time, it is very evident for all the students to have the common stress and anxiety due to the unavoidable pressure and the competition that flows through it. Today, we will be talking about anxiety, stress, how a parent can help and support their child in the journey of their careers, and many more such topics. So whether you are a parent who's looking forward for the tips to manage your child's stress, or if you are a student who is looking forward for the tips to manage their stress level during the crucial years and the time of the preparations, this podcast is for you guys. With me today is one such expert, Muskan Advani, counseling psychologist at Top Rankers. Welcome, Muskan.
Thank you so much, Anshul, for inviting me here.
Okay, Muskan. So my first question to you would be, what are the common signs of stress and anxiety in the adolescents while they prepare for these entrance examination?
Okay. So, Anshul, what parents usually observe these days in children of the age 12 to 18 is that they would observe so much of anger issues and so much of mood swings. So they would come under emotional symptoms.
Okay.
And then there are some behavioral symptoms such as, losing interest in activities which you used to previously enjoy, such as, talking about cricket or favorite football team as such. But most ignored symptom I would suggest, which can give a very good indication of underlying mental health issue, is that, physical symptoms such as gastrointestinal issues. If you're not having good bowel
Digestion
movements,
system.
So, and moreover, irregular periods in girls. So, such small symptoms are really ignored and low levels of vitamin B12, which are usually ignored, and they cause less focus, less concentration, memory fog and everything. So they have to focus on all three aspects such as physical, emotional and behavioral changes.
Okay. So now that we spoke about, the irregularities and the stress and anxiety in general, I would like you to give me your thoughts and opinions about, in general, good habits and good lifestyle, how a parent can help their child in developing a good lifestyle without adding any undue pressure.
Okay, that's a very interesting question and very common, to be honest. But the solutions for it are very obvious, such as, just focusing on three pillars: diet, sleep and exercise. But they are very hard to follow. Even ask a person who is 40 years of age and ask, are you sleeping on time? Are you really sleeping on time? So
Sometimes our schedule gets messed up,
yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
So it is a habit which takes a lot of time to develop. So I would suggest, rather than focusing on so many things ki subah utho, ye karo, wo karo, aisa karo, rather than, I would suggest just do two things on time, that is sleeping on time and eating on time. They cannot be ignored, and they have a very huge effect in the mental health and well-being.
Okay.
And moreover, to develop a habit, a parent should give them adequate exposure beforehand. I mean, as we know that if you want your child to study, you should give some time to reading. The child can see, model your behavior. But mostly what parents do is, they come from work, they are so tired to give time to their family members, and they just sit and do their other chores and just go to sleep, rather than modeling such behavior. So I would suggest ki if you want your child to follow some routine, or even take a stream, ki bhai, I want my child to take science, or say I want my child to do CLAT or NEET. So you have to provide an adequate exposure since childhood.
Okay.
Not suddenly at the age of, say, when the child is in the age of adolescence, where he's going through a lot of changes in his life, his or her life, and suddenly they say, okay, you have to take this, you have to take that. So if you want your child to do,
you need to show it first.
Yes, you have to expose. You have to expose, and how to do is that you have to make your child meet with such people who are already in this field. You have to increase your, exposure.
Right. Okay, so also make note, all the students and parents, that if you want a very healthy lifestyle, please follow those two rules, that is good eating and sleeping on time.
Yeah.
Right, Muskan? Okay, so now that we are talking about parents, क्योंकि हम parents की in general बात कर रहे हैं, Muskan, do you really think that in today's time parents are adapting to the new changes that are coming, or are they just pretending to change?
Really interesting question, Anshul. With my experience, speaking of my experience, I would say that, mostly what parents do is, they compare the generations. हमारे टाइम में ऐसा था,
right.
we did that, and तुम्हारे पास इतनी सुविधाएं हैं आज, उसके बाद भी तुम.
हाँ, correct, absolutely,
yes,
absolutely. I think हम सभी के parents ने कभी ना कभी ये कहा है, very common
so
problem.
there's mismatch. They provide all the adequate support, yes, but there's a mismatch between their thoughts and actions. Yes. And what they do is they go into extremes. If you see parenting, what they do is, and most of the times I've heard this problem from students is that, कि ma'am, my parents are very supportive, like, and still I'm not able to do. I know a parent जो बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट हैं, पर मेरे तो बहुत ही सपोर्टिंग है. तो you see the poles apart. So either there are parents who just tell their children to do this, do that, or either there are parents who just तुम्हें जो करना है करो, do what you like. So I feel it's like it's a very dichotomous situation where, so I would suggest that they have to guide them rather than tell them what to do, what not to do. Time to time they have to guide them कि हाँ, this is right. They should explain the pros and cons of each situation to their children कि this is the consequence, this is the future implications of your actions. So that has to be
right. I think we have touched base upon this in my previous podcast also, कि comparison वाला जब narrative आ जाता है ना, कि जब हम कंपेयर करने लग जाते हैं, यार शर्मा जी का बेटा तो हमेशा अच्छा कर रहा है, तो इस बारे में हम बात कर चुके हैं पहले भी. एंड rather than जैसे आपने कहा कि you should guide, मतलब parents should guide them, not compare eventually.
And one more thing, that they should set realistic goals.
Correct. Realistic goals is definitely one thing. Goals ऐसे होने चाहिए. I think in my personal view that should be achievable and measurable.
Yeah.
So I think parents have a good hand on that to do. Cool. So the fourth question to you would be, it is very difficult for any parent to gauge a mental state of mind or a state of mind for their children. मतलब वो बहुत मुश्किल होता जा रहा है पेरेंट्स को भी अंडरस्टैंड करना. ऐसे केसेस में how can parents recognize if their child need a professional help, and how can they help them reduce their problems, whatever it may be, stress, anxiety. So जो professional help चाहिए उस तक पहुंचने के लिए, how can parents do it better?
So I would answer this question by demarketing it into two sections. First is parents has to observe, very carefully observe, speech content. Say for example, their children dropped a water bottle, and the child is like, what did I do? My life is so bad. I lost this match. Oh my God. So this is the somewhere, just a small incident. The child is comparing it to the whole life. कि अरे मेरी life खराब है, मेरी किस्मत खराब है. So ये indication है that child needs guidance. है ना? So they have to observe the speech content, what child is saying when the child is saying in various situations.
Right.
And one more, the next step I would say is to understand the age, adolescence. So what adolescence is, that this is the frontal lobe. This area is a frontal lobe. So at the age of adolescence, this part is developing, and this particular part of the brain is responsible for reasoning, judgment, decision making, and all. So you would find teen kids making very bizarre decisions in their life. Sneaking out, bunking, doing substance abuse, running out of home. So stealing some places. If we talk about low socioeconomic background people, so I would suggest that parents has to understand that this area is developing, and this causes some little bit of change in their decision making capabilities, rationality as such. So they have to be careful and they have to understand. So what will happen when they understand? They will reduce their arousal. Sometimes, you know, their arousal level is so high. You know, so first they need to reduce their arousal by understanding the situation and understanding the age of the child, and then of course they can observe the symptoms by, you know, in their behavior also, like, you know, if the child is as I told you is and moreover, Anshul, I would like to talk about non-suicidal self-injury. You know, many children, what they do is, like, you know, they try to hurt themselves very superficially, you know, not with an intent of you know,
like what?
ending
Can
there.
you give me examples?
Yeah, so they would make superficial scratches on their wrist. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they would tell as if, you know, or parents can catch them, and they would talk कि मैं भाग जाऊंगा, मैं ऐसे कर लूंगा. You know, they would try to hurt themselves in a way which are not with
Causing
intention.
harm.
Yes, with are not intention of dying as such.
Right.
So these non-suicidal self-injuries, or NSSI, I would say, they have to observe it, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think parents should observe their daily conduct.
Yes,
basically.
and they should never say कि अरे नाटक कर रहे हो आप. तो
that is so.
yeah. And this is the first reaction. They eventually, even if the cuts are superficial, even if the self harm is not even counted as self harm,
But the fact that it happened,
and it is a bad,
clearly and indicated that something is not right.
Something is not right, and also it is a bad coping mechanism anyways. If something bad is happening and you're just thinking to hurt yourself, is not the answer.
Yeah, I think parents can, you know, handle this better.
Yes,
I think,
very better.
Yeah. So in that case, you know, I would like to ask you, Muskan, the next question, that, you know, what strategies can parents use to support their child mental health during preparation period? And preparation period से मेरा मतलब है कि, you know, कितने varied entrances exams होते हैं हमारे, and you know, एक बच्चा साल भर किसी ना किसी preparation में busy रहता है, ये in general. तो उस फेज में जब उसको सबसे ज्यादा फोकस की जरूरत है, absolutely, you know, he has to be on point with everything. उस फेज में एक पेरेंट कैसे हेल्प कर सकता है और कैसे सपोर्ट कर सकता है अपने चाइल्ड को?
Although I'm not a parent, and you know, parenting comes with an experience, and it's very subjective, but I would like to use a very good analogy here, which is called Hanuman complex. So what happens in Hanuman complex is, if you remember the story of Hanuman, yeah.
Right, Hanuman.
So he lost all his powers, you know, when he was being mischievous with rishis. So Rishi cursed him that, okay, you will lose your power, you'll not remember your powers. Right. So he forgets, and you know, he moves on with the lives. But then when the situation arises, Jamwant is the one who, you know, who makes Hanuman recall
who taps on his past.
To remember that you can do this, remember that you are born with an exceptional capability to fly and to do a lot of stuff. So at that time, Hanuman, like previous to meeting Jamwant, he's living a life where he's unaware of his potentials and unaware of his capabilities. Absolutely. And then the Jamwant comes, and you know, and that person reminds the potential of the Hanuman. So I would say कि parents has to be Jamwant. So they have to behave like Jamwant. They have to encourage the child. They have to make the child remember their potentials. They have to assess, you know, that these are the qualities of my child. These are the negative points of my child. So they have to work and support the child accordingly. So yeah,
I think
encourage.
In summing up, के positive reinforcement आपको देना जरूरी है.
Yes.
Yeah, a very good point. I think amazing point too for all the parents to make a note. Okay, Muskan. So, you know, in our life, we fail multiple times, and I'm sure मेरे साथ बहुत सारे ऐसे इंसिडेंट हुए हैं जहाँ पे मैं फेल करके सीखा हूँ. आपके साथ भी होंगे, सबके साथ होते हैं. And in a student's life, failure is a part and parcel, जो उसके साथ ही चलता है हमेशा. Sometimes उनका सिलेक्शन होता है, नहीं होता है, but at the end of the day they learn.
Yes.
Parents की expectation जो होती है from their child to conquer each and every exam they give, वो कितना अच्छे से मैनेज कर सकते हैं पेरेंट्स कि हम एक्सपेक्टेशन का जो बोझ है वो अपने बच्चे पे इतना ना डालें कि उसका कॉन्फिडेंस ही खत्म हो जाए. सो हाउ कैन पेरेंट्स डील बेटर?
So, see, I think for many parents, it's their right to expect the best from their child. But that expectations should be very realistic. What I mean by this is that, say your child is scoring that in a mock test out of 100, the child is scoring 20s, in 30s. And it is it is below average, yes. So they expect कि बिल्कुल हमारा बेटा तो कर लेगा, अरे बहुत होशियार हो आप, तो कर लोगे, बिल्कुल 90 लाओगे, हमारे पता है. And then they pat on the child. So can you see the gap? Can you see the gap of unrealistic expectations from the child? Previously we talked about realistic goals. Here we are talking about realistic expectations. Yeah. So setting goals is different and expecting is different. Yeah. So they cannot expect a child who's scoring 30 to score in 90s. Yeah. So they have to maintain some boundary and just assess the personality of the child, whether my child has personality of what this stream takes, or what this does he or she fulfills the requirement of this particular career stream. So they have to assess the personality, yes, and then only keep the expectations. I would not say that they should stop keeping expectation. I would rather say they can edit, amend, and they should keep it flexible according to the changing situations. Yes, like post COVID effects, we know that the children who are the
COVID
previously the COVID generation is very different from the children who had the regular. So
COVID.
This 2-year gap created so much of changes in the children, which parents don't even realize. They just see कि पहले तो तुम अच्छे थे, अब तो तुम बहुत ही कम नंबर ला रहे हो. So
I get it.
They need to be aware. Yeah.
I think, और इससे मुझे एक बात याद आई जो मेरे पेरेंट्स मुझे बोलते थे कि तुम्हारे कम से कम कितने आ जाएंगे, 0 ही आएंगे ना, माइनस में तो नहीं जाएंगे ना नंबर. ठीक है ना, तो 0 आए, until it is 0 it is good, तो we can come back. फिर अब जब तुम आओगे तो 1 ही होगा.
So this is a good example.
I remember this one.
This is a very good example.
Very vividly in my memories.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So यार, you talk to at least hundreds of students on a daily basis. Muskan, you are genuinely interacting them one-on-one, facing the real-time problems. Tell me, what impact does parental pressure have on a child's mind and health, and how can parents mitigate this?
Okay, so yes, too much of expectations leads to failure. We know that you are expecting me to say clear UPSC, and what if I'm not even able to clear a very petty government exam? So that expectations of not even fulfilling bare minimum hurts a child so badly. Say, like, even I would like to talk about so many students I am counseling right now. They have supplementary in their exams, and they are still preparing in our institute, and they are like, ma'am, I'm very dedicated towards what I'm doing here, but I don't like bio. I cannot study bio, and I cannot study accounts. I'm very poor in maths. I failed in maths. So in other subjects they're excelling. So parents fail to realize कि okay, if the child was neglecting the studies, or if the child is not serious, the result could have been collectively
better.
Yeah. So only a specific subject a child is not able to score, and that he or she is failing. So of course, so that child says, ma'am, I am hurting my parents, and I think, and then they talk about
go in
self-harm.
a feeling of guilt.
Yeah,
guilt trip.
That they are breaking the trust of their parents.
Yes.
And parents are like, I'm expecting so high of you, and you are not even able to achieve the bare minimum. So yeah, that is a very severe.
Also, Muskan, for all the parents watching, I think we should convey this through our medium, that failing is absolutely okay.
Yes.
Let's normalize this for once and all, because coming from your expertise and mouth, that would make even more sense, and the narrative would be set so much better.
Yeah. So normalizing failure.
Normalizing failure should be there, and किसी के भी I feel so, in my personal opinion, that if a year here and there is more or less. I don't think उससे कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा पूरी career journey में affect पड़ता होगा on a student's life.
But the reaction of parents creates a big effect. It creates a very long-term effect.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
So parents, I think, should normalize failure.
Yeah, normalize failure, and of course, to mitigate this, they should just sit. We call it empathy circle. They should sit there, sit with their students or children, and they should open a channel of communication with them, and they should, talk, encourage the child, or provide them that safe space where they can share their feelings, and that's how they can mitigate the pressure of the child. That okay, yes, you explain what exactly is your problem, where are you not able to cope, and then they can decide the solution. First, they have to identify the problem along with the child. Yeah.
Okay, Muskan. So the next question to you is, parents are generally not well informed. So what should parents do in order to avoid their child's mental well-being?
Okay. I would love to answer this question. So what I find in my experience is that what things they should avoid are first of all, very important and very new to this young couple generation, in this generation, is that they do guilt parenting. They should absolutely avoid guilt parenting. What is guilt parenting, you would ask? So guilt parenting is something if there are two working professionals in the family, both mother and father are the working professionals, so they are not able to give the adequate time to the child. So what they do is they do guilt parenting. So they would take their child on Sunday out for a outing, and then they would spend and then they would, if the child asks, I want a cycle, I want this, and I want a good mobile phone. So they somewhere their guilt is functioning in the back of their head, because so what they do is they do guilt parenting. They provide what best they can do for their child, and they justify it.
Through it.
Yes, it's their defense mechanism कि हम तो हमारे बच्चे के लिए best कर रहे हैं, जो बोलता है हम लाके देते हैं. But this is something they should avoid. Rather they can work very hard to provide. And nextly, what things they should avoid is, of course, comparison from Sharma Ji Ka Beta. Right. They have to realize that nobody has the same 24 hours. Sharma Ji Ka Beta might have some other responsibility of their house. Your child has some other responsibilities.
You are coming from different background.
Yes,
He's
exactly.
coming from a different background.
And a very interesting point, I would say, that what parents do these days is, they overstep boundaries. I'm your best friend. Share whatever you want. तुम मुझे अपना दोस्त समझो. बताओ बेटा क्या दिक्कत है, क्या चाहिए बताओ. So they're like they are trying to overstep the boundaries.
I think वो लाइन ही डिफाइन नहीं हो पा रही है.
Yes.
कितना किस पेरेंट को शेयर करना चाहिए बच्चे से, और कितना बच्चे को शेयर करना चाहिए पेरेंट से. तो वो डिफाइन करना बहुत
जरूरी है. So they have to respect boundaries. They should not attempt to become their BFF. Rather they can behave like a parent with time to time opening that line of channel,
kind of
being strict, and they can use mix of it. So they should never overstep the boundaries with their children. Absolutely. And try to make them best friends.
Correct. Okay, so the next question is very populated और बहुत popular एक question आज भी है. Unfortunate है कि ये question अभी भी exist करता है in the society. But I would like to ask you, why is mental health still a taboo after so much advocacy? कितने celebs बात कर चुके हैं इस बारे में. They have come out in open and talked about it. It is still a taboo. It is very difficult for people, especially parents and students, to comprehend. So please share your life.
What I feel is happening these days is people are glorifying mental health.
Okay.
Like they're not normalizing it. Say a husband helping wife in the house is glorified. कि ओह कितना अच्छा husband है आपका, तो घर पे help कर रहा है. But it is just normal. Basic. Yeah, it is this bare minimum. It is basic. We should stop glorifying something which needs to be normalized first.
If you can give some examples जहाँ पे student, it is relatable to a student.
So, sir, this majorly depends on the comparison between the low socioeconomic background children and high socioeconomic background children.
Okay.
Students with very big college, big schools and places have very different problems in their life.
Right.
And students from coming from small hometowns trying to study here are having very different again the two extremes we are talking
Extremes,
about.
right.
So here this side people are just casually labeling their feelings. Oh, I have such a trauma. Trauma is something which is like near death experience.
I think people
they label directly. I have
Right.
OCD. I have this. I have that. So they glorify.
People usually, I have seen this very commonly. Ke people use these terms in a normal conversation.
Yeah.
They don't even know the meaning ki kya hota hai and the sensitivity that it holds.
Yeah.
I think they are quite generalizing.
Yeah,
very well.
and parents, then mostly parents say ना कि कुछ नहीं होता, ये सब क्या है, चलो ये so they just try to let it go कि अरे ये mental health कुछ नहीं होता. There are many parents which
of course,
exist,
of course,
yes.
you're right. Yes.
And what they don't realize is they are still using so many defense mechanisms. They are eating pan masalas, they are drinking in their house, they are doing so many stuff. They are just using these defense mechanisms and calling that they have the best mental health. Isn't it questionable?
It is very questionable.
So they are using so many defense mechanisms, and also I would say that usually females these days the importance of satsang, seva and simrans is increasing. But what I feel is they should not take it as only cultural. They should also take it as mental health tools, and they are mental health tools. They should the expectation, the belief system of it needs to. They need to change the perception that all these things are mental health tools, and they
I
can.
think one good point that you made here is the spiritual journey helps in.
It definitely helps, and these are just types of meditation. Scientifically, we call it something else, but we have very different names in each religious. In each
every culture,
religion, in every culture. So they are just not cultural. They have a very good effect. So they should realize it.
Good. Okay, Muskan. So my last question to you would be: in today's world, there are parents, both the parents are working parents everywhere. Everybody is earning their bread and butter, very busy schedules. That I said, parenting has become very difficult since both of the parents are working, they are earning for their families. Tell me, how can both parents fulfill the parenting requirements of their child in the best possible way?
Yes. So this is the working generation. Everybody is working and still trying to maintain their family responsibilities. I agree, this is a very huge dilemma these days, that how they can both working parents can fulfill the adequate needs. So first I would like to say that before they plan a child, that they should really check their mental health. This statement is very common that and they are having so much problems in their life, so they think having a baby will change a lot of things in their life, which is which is the worst step they can ever take. So many places they do this. If there are very poor environment in the house, so what they do is they decide to have a child, and they don't take care of their own mental health. So their own mental health is
sacrificed.
At most important. Before they think about their child's mental health, they should ask the question to themselves, ki, am I well? If I will be well, then I'll be able to provide the adequate support for my child.
Absolutely.
What else I would like to say is that they should resolve their own conflicts first. They should realize ki whatever conditions they are in right now, is this condition is adequate to take care of a child. They should appraise, they should assess the resources, physical resources, mental resources, emotional resources, material resources, everything they need to sit and plan before they bring their child into this world. And nextly, they should try their best to shape the environment according to the child's
the
needs.
better the environment,
Yes.
I think the better the child's upbringing.
And very most important thing I forgot to talk about is the communication gap between the parents, not between the parent and the child.
Child observes that.
Not only child observe that, creates a very huge effect. So a parent, like the mother and the father, has to communicate so well. They have to, you know, create their own
Transparency.
small empathy circle where they have to sit in front of each other, and, you know, they have to talk everything. There has to be full disclosure between husband and wife, so
Right.
that they can discuss about the, you know, so many things. There
right.
exists a communication gap, and it creates a very bad effects on the child. So yeah, very mostly these are the things they should do, a working parent should do. And then of course they can try their best, and they should divide their responsibilities. Rest is very subjective according to the condition.
Okay, so I think that was all
Yeah.
from my side. Like, these were the questions where I found that, you know, we can help the students and the parents watching us. So would you like to give the last one advice that you would want to give to the parent and to the student as well?
Okay, so for the parents, I would say they have to start validating their children's feelings. You know, in short, I would say, जो चीज़ समझ नहीं आती ज़रूरी नहीं कि वो गलत हो. So
Correct.
And for students, I would say कि, you know, we all carry some responsibilities. Father has the responsibility of, you know, earning. Like, I'm talking a very casual, general family. And mother is the nurturer,
Right.
and the child has the responsibility to study. Always remember that, you know, everybody has their separate set of responsibilities to fulfill. Kartavya, I would say. So they should always do karma, and they should fulfill their kartavya, and you will be happy. Trust me.
Thank you so much, Muskan. That was it from our side, and thank you so much for shedding light on such an important topic that is mental health and well-being. And I hope that students and the parents both have gained something out of this conversation.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah.